Hey kids, how you doing? Happy New Year. New tornado warning on our storm there in Alabama. Look out Union Springs and Fort Davis. That storm headed for you. Also down toward the Aberfoyle area. If this thing right turns a little bit, but Union Springs mainly. That's the town I would be most concerned about. I'm going to get my chat up here in just a minute, folks, and then I'll be right with you. Yeah, Kathy, a good coupling indeed. Wouldn't be surprised to see that thing drop in a tornado. A little concerned about Union Springs here. Here's the couplet reds next to green. That shows the rotation in the storm. And it's headed northeast toward Union Springs. It's a fairly largely populated area. You can tell by all the roads going in there. Sorry, I'm eating while I'm talking. But quite a few highways coming in there. So it's a pretty decent population center. So I'd be concerned about this thing if it is dropping a tornado heading into the Union Springs area. Even if it passes north, which it looks like it might, there's still some decent population up and through here. So very concerning. Let's hope that thing weakens. Problem is, it might not, and here's why. As we look at the reflectivity and pull back a little bit here, you can see there's not a whole lot of activity south of this discrete cell. I mean, it's in kind of the southern part of this mess. All of this stuff is all embedded, nasty, messy stuff. And then you have this little cell here, which is kind of separated from that mess. And there's nothing really south of it. So it has unlimited inflow coming into it. Whatever instability there is, it's maximizing it because, you know, it's on the southern edge of this mess and it's kind of discrete. So it's kind of like this cell over here. This one could you know, pump up and do something because it's kind of separated from this mess. The other ones that are separated are down here near the Gulf Coast. We've already had a damaging tornado down here today, and I saw pictures of it, and it was a legit tornado. And we're getting these supercells coming off the Gulf of Mexico. You can't really see them here. We'll go to a different radar real quick here. We'll go to Mobile, and you can see there's still some cells down in here. This one here looks pretty intense. The one coming into the west side of Mobile Bay there. It's kind of by itself, as is this one. You need to watch these because there's a lot of rich moisture and instability feeding in off the Gulf. So, and there's not a whole lot of big stuff south of them to compete. So these cells that come off the Gulf and intensify need to be watched as well. They can produce a tornado at any time. And most of the tornadoes today pretty rain wrapped and hard to see, so they can kind of surprise you. So either one of these two cells, even though this one's not even warned on, you know, I would be concerned about a tornado with either one of these, you know, potentially at any time. Let me kill the volume on the chat. Play sounds never. All right. Hey, Eric. Let's go back to our tornado warning cell. Go out of the radar site here in Birmingham. And we'll take a look at that thing. It's got a tornado vortex signature with it, the little triangle, purple triangle, and then the couplet here. And let's look at that again with our velocity. And you can still see some decent colored greens and next to the reds there. So that thing is definitely spinning. That part of the storm is rotating, and anytime you get a rotation within the thunderstorm, you can potentially get a tornado. So we continue with this warning here for western Bullock County until 5:15. Storm is moving northeast at 30, so the storms aren't racing off today. They're moving at a decent speed, but they're certainly not flying like we've seen. And this is a radar indicated tornado. Nobody has spotted anything that I know of yet. Let me look at the reflectivity here, because this kind of area in here, even though it's kind of messy, this is still kind of on the south edge of that mess. So you need to watch this one. And I was just noticing on the velocity, yeah, there might be something there. It's pretty broad. And then down here, you'll see this looks fairly interesting. Let's put reflectivity back up. Remember how I said earlier we needed to watch these cells? Well, this one's looking kind of interesting down here. Southeast, east-southeast of the tornado warned cell. So any of these three right here, this one which is tornado warned, this one which isn't, and this one which isn't, could produce a tornado at any time, as well as the other ones that we need to watch are down near the Gulf Coast, down by Mobile. So that's what we'll do. We'll kind of watch them here for a little bit, see what happens, and see how the atmosphere evolves. Not a major outbreak today. It's one of the reasons I didn't really go, and I knew it would be kind of messy, and things would really start ramping up a little bit closer to dark. So several decisions went into me not chasing today, and I'm kind of glad I didn't. It's really messy, and I probably wouldn't have seen much. Just kind of firing everything up here, giving folks a chance to talk on the chat. If you guys could spread the word on Friends of Stormscape Live and wherever, and let folks know we're live here, that would be awesome. I appreciate it. Hey, how you doing, Tara? The time of our tornado tour adventure is rapidly approaching. Getting excited. All right, thanks, Cash. And thank you, Les Nessman. Who remembers Les Nessman? Haha, the Shiwi, yes. I'm hoping to get the car back this week. It's been in the shop for quite some time. So we'll see how that does once we get the car back. All equipment is doing well as far as I know. I haven't really had a chance to get out and test too much lately, but once I get the car back, we'll do some test runs and do some winter storm chasing and check everything out, make sure we get everything operational before the spring season hits. Folks, this is not looking good for Union Springs. As you can see here, we have a really nice hook on this supercell, and still some decent velocity. And it is headed right into Union Springs. Here over the next 5 to 10 minutes, it'll be entering the town. And let's just hope that this is just rotation within the thunderstorm, that we do not have a tube extending down from the base of that storm. But the couplet is decent and certainly could harbor a tornado. So Union Springs, it's getting serious for those folks. I'm going to leave the velocity couplet up as this thing comes into Union Springs. It's really the best way to track the possible tornado. You want to see where the pixels are red next to green. That's where your tornado is likely to be if there is a tornado with this. And again, it's headed right for the heart of Union Springs, Alabama. So we're going to want to watch this over the next 20 minutes or so as it makes its way across Union Springs and heads up to the northeast. We want to watch for weakening. We don't want to see these greens become brighter and these reds to become brighter. We want to see them get kind of dull and diffuse as it approaches Union Springs. That tells you that the circulation is weakening. But if they get brighter, then we got a problem. We already have a problem now. I mean, that's certainly a good enough couplet and small enough and tight enough to support a tornado. So Union Springs definitely in danger here. And hopefully everybody is in their safe place and taking their tornado safety precautions and are ready for this. Certainly we've had a tornado warning in effect for quite a while. So if anybody's listening, to media or whatever, they're going to get the warning. But a lot of people don't take these things serious. They think that, I've lived here 50 years. I've never even seen a tornado. I mean, why should I worry about this warning? Well, that's the wrong attitude to take. Just be safe, not sorry, and take cover in the Union Springs area. A little concerning here. We may have us a little debris up inside this rotation, which would indicate there is a tornado. So it looks like that's kind of gotten a little bit more diffuse here in the latest scan. Let's take a look at the velocity here. Yeah. I would say it's weakening a little. Let's put this thing in motion. You'll notice the couplet becoming broader. The color's not as bright. See as it comes here on this last scan, a little bit of weakening. Let's pray that that translates into no tornado for Union Springs, but the circulation is going to go right over Union Springs. Yeah, it definitely has weakened, so let's hope that we see no tornado activity in Union Springs. Definitely stay under cover, though, until the tornado warning is over. But at least based on radar indications, the chance for a large damaging tornado have lessened, but still a chance for a tornado as we head through the next little bit as this thing moves across Union Springs. Definitely. So the threat is still there, even though the couplet is weaker. Don't want to give anybody any false sense that things are looking up. As long as you're under that tornado warning, you need to take it serious, regardless of what the radar is showing and what people are saying. All right, new tornado warning in Georgia. Let's check it out. Hasn't come up on my radar yet, but I'm sure it will, and it might be for this cell that we were talking about earlier as one of the candidates. Remember, we said this one, and then this one was a candidate for a tornado warning. My guess is it's probably this one here and Lumpkin, Quitman County, Randolph County, that area. Let's look at the velocity. Oh yeah, pretty strong velocity there. Let's look at that. Warning should be popping up anytime now. Looks like the towns of Richland, Preston, Weston, those communities in Georgia possibly threatened by this potential tornado over the next 45 minutes to an hour. And then beyond that, if it holds together, look out in Friendship, Ellaville, and Doyle, even Buena Vista. This is an interesting little system here. Let's put that in motion. So we have a little line out ahead of the supercell. And then this system's intriguing too. It's kind of a rotating system here, and you can see when we put velocity up here. I mean, you can see the winds blowing into the storm here from the east, and then winds from the west interacting. So there could be some funky interaction that goes on, even though this storm looks messy here around Hurtsboro and Russell. You got to watch out for those. You can see there was a case in Texas, in the Texas Panhandle, I think last spring, where we had kind of given up on a storm because it was getting really messy like this, and some interactions took place within it like this, and it produced a nice tornado near Spearman. So you got to watch out for these, even the messy ones. If there's winds flowing in and west winds also, you know, kind of converging, and you're seeing a little rotation within the system itself, you got to watch out for that. Let's look at our Union Springs storm here again real quick. Get our velocity back up. Zoom in on Union Springs. Yeah, definitely good news. The couplet is still there, but it's certainly weakened a little. Well, let's hope it's not just kind of cycling and then it gets its act together right over town. But the good news is at least for the time being, the threat for any kind of serious damaging tornado is weakened with this cell. But it could still produce a tornado, and hence the tornado warning continuing. I think it was until 5:15, yeah, Central Time, there for Bullock County in Alabama. But going back to the Georgia cell, let's look at this one here. It's getting out kind of on the edge of the radar site. And unfortunately, it's kind of in radar no man's land. There's no real close radar site to watch this one. That's pretty significant rotation there, folks. That's an impressive cell. I would be very concerned north of Weston, between Weston and Richland, and then especially up here around Preston. Most likely rain wrapped. I mean, there could be some visibility with it. Let's look at the reflectivity again. I would say you might be able to see something with that. That one might have some visibility. I mean, I'm not seeing anything that tells me that it's completely buried up in some rain there. There might be a little bit of visibility there on the south or southeast flank of it, up north of or near Benevolence. But it would be pretty difficult to see. It's dark already. So, yeah, it doesn't matter if it's wrapped in rain or not. It's not going to be able to be seen. And you'll notice there are a lot of trees down there mixed in with a few farm fields, but a lot of trees as well. So that one's going to be a problem for Weston and Preston, it looks like. Yeah, some pretty tight rotation, even fairly far away from the radar to see that is showing some good rotation aloft in the storm. So it's definitely a rotating supercell. There we go. Little different look there. Some pretty bright reds next to greens. That is a decent couplet, no doubt. Yeah, the colors show wind direction in relation to the radar site. So toward or away from the site. And that shows you then rotation within the thunderstorm itself. And the tighter the couplet, the brighter the colors. The brighter the colors, the stronger the winds. The tighter the couplet, the smaller the area of rotation. So generally what you're going to want to do is look for those brighter reds and greens and smaller couplets, not big broad ones, but the small ones to indicate, really good tornado potential. I tell you, even though there's not really a warning on it, I'd still be very concerned about this cell in between the Union Springs storm and the Benevolence storm. This one right here, broad circulation, but like I said, funky things can happen. These things can spit out a tornado. There's enough general vorticity in the atmosphere, and it's kind of on the southern edge of that mess. Definitely something to watch out for. I haven't really done any analysis. I've just had radar up and been busy doing some other things today. But my guess is this is probably the warm front down here, and these cells are forming on the warm front and lifting north with that front. So they'll definitely need to be watched here over the next few hours as they head up in the general vicinity of the southern portion of the Atlanta metro area. That would be this area right in here. Up here is Atlanta, As you can see, we're just in general light to moderate rain and thunderstorm activity, but you know, these storms will probably hold together as they get kind of up in this area before they weaken. So far south and southwest Atlanta metro area could be impacted by some pretty strong storms here later on this evening. So watch out. Atlanta. It's turned into a real mess over here around Union Springs. But there's still a little hook in there right over Union Springs. Let's zoom in on that. Still got some shape to it, doesn't it, folks? Look at that. That kidney bean shape and the little appendage down here. Let's look at our velocity. It's pretty broad. It's past Union Springs now, just barely. But it was a pretty broad circulation that went right over town. So we should know soon if we start getting any reports out of Union Springs. Fingers are crossed that it was weakened just enough when it went over to the town that it was not a tornado producing cell. But definitely some damaging winds could certainly be possible with this type of a setup, if not a tornado. So we'll just have to wait and see what the scanner traffic says and what kind of reports begin to come out of the Union Springs area here soon. Here's that other cell to watch out for southwest of Columbus. As Eric mentioned, this is the Columbus, Georgia area right up in here. You can see a lot of population in there, a lot of roads intersecting. And then we have our other storm down here headed up toward Preston and Weston. Some tight circulation with that little cell. Also could produce a tornado at any moment, if not already. With that kind of rotation, you could definitely get a tornado. So not quite sure why my warning has not popped up there. Apparently there is a tornado warning for it, but on my GR level 3 it's not indicating a warning with it, but I'm sure there is one, as somebody had mentioned that there was a tornado warning for this cell, and if there isn't, there should be. Yeah, Eric, I figured there was. You'd mentioned there was. I don't know why it's not showing up on mine. Little glitches with GR level 3 all the time. Probably if I close completely out of it and bring it back up again, I'll get it. But it's just one of those things. But looks pretty decent. Let's look at this little cluster of cells coming in here to the Florida Panhandle. Again, it's a dangerous little cluster down there. There's really apparently no warnings on them. There might be. Again, my radar is kind of funked up a little bit for some reason this evening, but let's look at these as they kind of come in here. They're kind of isolated little cells. A little messy. Definitely something to watch. One of these could pop but I'd be very wary in the Panhandle. That's where your really deepest instability and moisture is coming right off the Gulf. So you get up inland a little ways away from the Gulf, and some of these storms can really ramp up pretty quickly and surprisingly. We saw that earlier, so that could happen again. Yeah, it looks like this is going to go just northwest of Weston and head up in the general direction here of Preston. Might just pass west of Preston and northwest of them as well, and kind of between Richland. So I guess in terms of area, it's kind of moving through about the least populated area it could between these two towns. If it's on my side of town, I would go out, Sarah. I wouldn't go out if it was anything way south or east of town. But if there's something that comes out for Paulding County and it looks like I can kind of head out and check it out, I'll probably do that. I don't have anything really planned this evening, so we'll see. I wouldn't expect there to be anything in my neighborhood in this setup, but you never know. That warm front might get all the way up there later on tonight. So I'm not ruling it out. Good to see they issued at least a severe thunderstorm warning for this cell south of Columbus. Pretty interesting little system there. It's just the whole thing is rotating, and it's large, so definitely some damaging winds and maybe an isolated tornado coming out of that thing at any time. And then this still looks very dangerous down here as well. So we have a tornado watch out in this part of Georgia here now till midnight, basically from Columbus down to south of Macon, kind of in this region here, southwest and western Georgia, not including the Atlanta metro area. So they're looking for this activity to weaken as it heads basically, north of kind of this line right here. Of all of these weather systems and all these echoes, I would say this one here is the one that's going to cause the biggest problems over the next couple of hours. And it looks like it's going to stay just south of Macon ultimately. But it's going to get close. But this one looks especially dangerous here for the next hour or two. Now, if this stuff down here rapidly expands and grows, and this becomes embedded, then, you know, it's probably a done deal. But as long as it stays discreet, kind of by itself here, and as along that warm front, it's going to have the greatest helicity and the best instability. So this is the one I would watch here in particular. Looking over here in Alabama, not seeing a whole lot that worries me. Got this little cluster down here that could be a little dangerous, and these little individual cells here, this one right here, this one, again, kind of along that warm front. Those need to be watched, but I would say this is the most dangerous cell right now, this one out here in Georgia. I would say conditions should slowly improve as we head through the night. It's still going to be rough here for the next several hours, and we still have a tornado watch in effect until midnight. But after about midnight Eastern time, things should start to wind down, and this system zips pretty quickly off to the northeast and really isn't going to be a big deal tomorrow. So tonight is the night for the active severe weather down here in the southeast, and then all eyes will turn to a potential winter storm for parts of Dixie next, or I should say this coming weekend. The jury's out on that. One model says no snow, just dry and cold, and the other one says big time snow and ice. So we'll see which one wins out. Either the GFS, which is the one that's bullish on the snow, or the ECMWF, the European model, which has been pretty consistent in showing not a whole heck of a lot in just cold weather. So exciting times ahead down here over the next few days as we watch that. All right, folks, I got stuff to do, so I'm going to shut her down. Let's keep our fingers crossed, all of us snow lovers here in the South, that the GFS is on to something and we get a little bit of wintry weather as we head toward the weekend. That would be awesome. If so, I'll hopefully be out there streaming a little bit of it. I've got to take Caroline back to her college this weekend, either Friday or Saturday, so that might interfere a little bit with my chase plans, but I'll keep everybody updated on what's going on. And until then, everybody stay safe and enjoy your week, and we will see you again probably at the end of the week. Take care, everybody.